huge. They have really changed my, hey Bronte, they've really changed my business. I absolutely love them. Like I was saying before, ways that you find vendor events would be using search engines on, Google's my favorite, it's like my best friend, and Facebook. I do a lot of vendor events through words of mouth and or having people that I've met through networking from vendor events that were other vendors by telling me, hey, there's this vendor event coming up and I think you'd be great for it, and etc. That has been the most successful thing, probably, is networking with other vendors. When you get into like expos, for like health expos and bridal expos, they get really expensive. I've had bridal shows up to like $500. If you can, I would suggest doing those because those are huge. You can not only get awesome sales off of it, but you could also end up doing people's makeup and stuff like that in the area if you're able. Okay. You can end up talking about, oh God, I just lost that. Whew. Anyways, you can end up making a ton of money doing people's makeup and etc. It's awesome. If you can't afford that, then I would suggest pairing up with somebody else from your team. So you guys could split the cost and you could split the table and all the stuff that goes into it. It gets really confusing though, so if you need any help, just send me a message later on Facebook or whatever, and I'll, help you out. Okay, so what do you need for vendor events? So for vendor events, you definitely need a table. I found my table at Walmart. I know, surprisingly, but y'all know I'm a cheapo and I hate spending money if I don't have to. So I got my table at Walmart, 6 foot, for $30. I found you also need a tablecloth, and I like to make mine fancy, so I usually have a black tablecloth. It's like a DJ booth one that's completely fitted. I got it on Amazon for about $7, and then I got a purple one to go over top of it because Unique's colors are purple. And I put that one over top of it at an angle so you can kind of see the black and the purple on it. And then on the front of my table, I always put my banner. I have not ordered my new banners yet because I was recently injured, so I can't stand up for long periods of time, which totally sucks. But when I do my next one, I'll get the stand-up vertical banners opposed to the horizontal banners. I found that the horizontal banner I ended up having to like duct tape to my table, and it was falling apart on one show, and it was horrible. It was like a train wreck. Anyways, so make sure you have a sturdy banner if you're going to use one. You want to make sure that people know what you are selling, because if you just have a black tablecloth and there's nothing that sells Unique or says that you sell Unique or whatever, you're going to be kind of like SOL. I mean, people will walk by you and not even care to stop. Okay. Other things you'll need would be like definitely your makeup, catalogs. If you don't have a catalog, thank goodness we have the flip book now. You can find that in your back office. You can use your iPad and etc. if you have access to an outlet. You definitely want business cards. You want to make sure you are handing them out like hotcakes. Like for real, you want to hand out a business card to everyone that you see. I always put about 2 or 3 business cards in there and 1 Blitz card. My Blitz card I got from the back office through Vistaprint, and I always make sure that it has the step-by-step directions of the mascara on it. It's got the, before, after, gel, fibrous gel. And the reason why I do that is because even though there are directions in the box, some people just are completely oblivious and don't care to read. They just think, oh, it's mascara and I'm going to do this, or they'll just try to put fibers on their eyes. So by me putting that Blitz card in the back, it really has helped. Okay, so you also should have testers. You don't have to have these, but they're really good for you to have. So what I mean by testers is I have the presenter's kit that has all of the pigments in it. It's like the teeny tiny little ones in there, all set up on my table so that they can use them. They're actually the tester size that came in probably like August 2014 or something like that. Anyways, and I have them all set up. So then I have cotton balls. I have the little like the sponge eye things. I have Q-tips. I mean, pretty much everything you need to apply and remove makeup. Usually whenever people ask if they can test it out, I say yes, and I hand them a half of a shine cloth. Now this is where that comes in really handy, is because right there they can feel the shine cloth, they can see how it works, and etc., right? So I always make sure that I hand it and they wipe off their makeup completely, and then I know I'm getting ahead of myself. And then I'll draw like some liners on their hands or whatever, and then I'll start talking about a different product and then a different product and give the liners time to set. And then I will be like, oh, you know those liners I talked about? And they'll be like, yeah. And then I'll be like, well, we'll try this and we'll rub it on, we'll rub it, and I'll have like, usually it's liners, and then I have the lip stain, and then in my wrist area, because this bends a whole lot, I always have the cream shadows, because our cream shadows are crease proof and they last freaking all day. So I want to make sure that I'm showing that even though my wrist is bending, that the product isn't moving. So that's why the little joke comes in, where you're a makeup artist, or that you're a unique presenter and you went to a vendor event, whenever you're wearing your makeup on other places besides your face, right? Awesome. Okay, let's get into prints and photos. So you want to make sure that your table is all about you, because you are the pro. So even though they don't know you from Adam, they are going to come to you and they're going to think that you know everything there is to know about Unique. And they're going to ask you a million questions, and sometimes you may or may not be prepared for them. So you need to make sure that you are always knowing your product in and out. You want to think like you're making Unique for Dummies, like that book, you know what I'm talking about? You want to basically write that book to somebody and know all of the products inside out, because there's going to be crazy questions. Okay, back to pictures. We have the lash library, which you can find the link to that on our team page in the files. If you do not know where that is, just send me a message and I can tag you in it. Actually, I might even update that or comment on it, so it's at the top of the Team Crazy Lash Ladies page. Let me write that down. Update lash library. So the lash library, since I am on it, is really awesome. They have literally every product that you can think of on there, from old and new, that has been approved by compliance to use. You can also use the foam boards that Kaylee had posted earlier on our Team Crazy Lash Ladies page, and I'm so excited for those. But you also want to make sure you have photos of yourself, because they want to see you, right? All right, so let's get into Square and PayPal. So how do you take payment? A lot of people will pay with cash, so you always want to make sure that you have change. And I've never ran out of change before. I usually spend about 60 bucks at the ATM. I go to 7-Eleven usually, and I'll get my change out in 1s and 5s, because most people are going to pay with 20s and 10s. And depending on how much you sell your mascara for will depend on how much change you need, so you need to make sure you're pretty, quick with math. You can keep a cash log on Square if you have it. I don't use PayPal. I use Square. I found I like it a lot better. With the cash log, I'm able to write in how much I gave in and out. It's really easy. And then also with Square and PayPal, you can take their cards. If you don't have the swiper, you didn't have time to get it in, you can manually enter it in. But I believe it's like a certain more percentage that they'll take from you from manually entering it. I don't think it's very much though, maybe like 2% or something. So Square or PayPal. Now, whenever you're doing Square and PayPal, you want to make sure that you're adding in the tax for the area that you live in. So there's no overall tax amount for the entire United States based off sales tax. It is all different from different areas. So you need to make sure that you Google the area that you're in and sales tax. So I would Google Portsmouth, Virginia and sales tax, and then it would come up. And then you can already update that into your Square reader to where it'll say, added sales tax in there. It'll be like, I don't know how much it is right now off the top of my head. But anyways, it'll be added in there so you don't have to do the math. It's awesome. But that's going to really, really help you a ton. Let's get into Amounts for mascara. You can sell your mascara for however amount that you would like to. I have changed mine several times. I have sold it for $29 without, paying for shipping and stuff like that. And I've even sold it for $35, just depending on the location that I'm at. If I'm at a more upscale, ritzier kind of a thing, I'll sell them for $35. And I know some people might not agree with that, but that's just how I do my business, and I have found success with it. Let's see. I also like to do a weekend special. So on my table, I'll put like free shipping for the event weekend or something like that, or that'll be the show special, or I'll make my own little like show special. Like some of us were talking about doing gift boxes and stuff like that for the holidays. It's something like that, basically a basic setup. So everyone should know how to use mascara, everyone should know how to use lip gloss, and everyone should know how to use a cream shadow. Those are 3 really easy things, and then I'll bundle them together. It's just like a deal. Or like if I know I'm selling specifically to teachers or moms or something, I might put it in a wine glass and just make it like really pretty, something like that. Theme events. So I haven't personally done a themed event yet. I do want to do them, but I just really haven't decided. I have some friends that have done them and did like them, but by theme events, I mean by making your event be geared towards something specific, like either getting hostesses for parties and stuff like that, or even towards sponsoring and getting people to join your team. I pretty much hit all of that on my table, and here at the end of the Periscope, I'll show you a picture of one of my tables and how it usually is set up. Let's see, back to the square reader and stuff like that, you want to make sure that you are giving everyone a receipt. It is against compliance to not give a receipt to your customers. So you don't want to be against compliance. We want to make sure that we are covered, right? Because I want you guys to continue to save presenters and etc. So make sure they have a receipt, whether that is a paper receipt because they paid with cash, or you did the cash log via Square or whatever. Just if they say they don't want a receipt, that's okay, but you need to make sure you keep track of it and that you offered it to them, okay? Let's see. When you're talking to people, you want to make sure that you are approachable. You want to make sure they feel comfortable and show them the products and etc. Actually, I'm at 20%. My battery, I charged it before I got in here, but whatever. Anyways, you want to make sure you're showing them the products. So that's where the samples and stuff like that come in handy. You do not have to have all of the makeup on hand to have an event. How I set up my table is I will have like 3 or 4 mascaras in the center of it, and then I'll have all of my other mascaras under my table and hidden, because I don't want everybody to see like 30 mascaras all in one and then be like, oh my god, she has so many and no one's buying it, You don't ever want to tell them how much product you have. You want to make sure you keep that a secret, so hush it. Whenever somebody purchases something from me, I always give them a free sample. So when I show you the picture of my page, my table, you'll see on there that I always have free eye pigment sample with purchase. And I also do little sales, like I'll sell my pigments samples 2 for $5 or something, so somebody can get they'll try it, but I'm also not only losing product, but I'm making money from it. Does that make sense? Because it is not the unique samples, it is okay to do that. If you use the samples that Unique made and sends out, like in the presenter's kit and stuff, that is not okay. That is against compliance. I do not let people try the mascara. You can buy like little wands and stuff like that to be on your table or whatever, but I don't let them try the mascara just because it's really hard, because sometimes you'll have people just come in like big crowds and groups and they'll crowd your table or whatever, and it's really hard just to be like, oh my god, and pay attention to all these people, and it makes my anxiety to like shoot through the roof. It's like not cool. But I do tell them that if they purchase anything, that I will give them a demo. So if it's not mascara, even if it's BB cream or rose water or primer or whatever, I'm going to be demoing it and showing them how to use it. I usually always make sure that everyone I come across feels our primer, because most people, when you think primer, they think the colored primer and etc. They don't really know how soft it is and stuff. So make sure you're always showing what you're passionate about, because if you don't know very much about a product, or if you don't really use the product or like it yourself, it's going to show, and they're going to know. They're just going to be like, oh, okay, well, she's fake and she's lying to me, so I can't trust this person, and there goes your sales. So make sure the stuff that you have on your table is stuff that you're comfortable with. Now, when I first started my very first table, I didn't have a lot of product. I literally had bought probably like $300 worth of makeup or whatever and sat it on my table because it was stuff I was using. I didn't let anybody touch it because that would be grody, but I did let them see the product and see the colors and stuff like that. But yeah, you don't have to have a lot of product just to sit on your table to do whatever was for your table. So yeah, it can be whatever. I do have a demo mascara out on my tables at all times. It's ones that I have used all the way, like completely, or it was a product return. The current ones is a product return because somebody didn't like it or whatever. There was something missing with it or something, I don't know. But anyways, that could be a demo. That's a good idea. Any products that squirt out are also fine, because you'll be fine. You want to make sure you have everything on your table, from the mascara to the different shades of the foundation, the BB cream, the powder, and etc. Because those are some of our best sellers. And you want to show the coverage. So if you don't know, or you don't have the ability to show the coverage, like for tattoo cover-ups and stuff like that, make sure you have a picture on there, because somebody is more than likely going to ask about it. Let's see. If no one is at the show and it is completely dead, because I have done, let's see, there was this one I did back in May, and it was awesome. It was like a 3-day show. I really enjoyed it. But every day of those 3 days, it got around like 3:30, and it was completely dead for like 2 hours at a time. I decided that I was going to go to each of the other vendors' tables and talk to them. When I did that, I grew my network a ton, and you would be surprised about how many people don't know about Younique, because we just turned 3, so we're still a baby company, and they were really surprised. I have a lot of my best customers are actually other vendors. It's pretty neat, because I think they have something to offer, you have something to offer, so you trade off. And that's how I've gotten a lot of my parties, is just by saying, hey, you sell, Origami Owl, and they were like, yeah. I was like, would you be interested in trading parties? And they would be like, yes. And then I'd give them like little tips, and they would give me little tips, and it kind of like worked out. It's really awesome. Let's see. I think that's about it. Just make sure you're approachable. Make sure you